Hey guys, I'm trying something new, so hang on for a second. Um, I am just checking that my camera looks. Okay, not too bad. There is some other stuff in the background, but let me move a little more. I think this side. Perfect. Okay, I think we're good. I'm using my front camera for a change compared to the other camera, and therefore I can finally see myself. And hopefully, you guys can see and hear me as well. Hello, testing, testing, one, two, testing. All right. So I've actually made a list of things I want to discuss and talk about, and once I do that, we can get into a Q&A like we always do. So I'm sure some of you are watching the replay, some of you are watching live. If you're watching live, you can probably do this after the video is over. If you're watching the replay, you can probably pause it right now and type out the comment. I want to know not just which part of the world you're from, because I ask you that every time, but I would love to know, what does your daily meal plan look like? Like on an average day, what do you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Do you eat breakfast? Do you intermittent fast? Do you skip lunch? Do you maybe don't eat dinner? Maybe you eat an early dinner? I don't care. I just want to know, what does a day in the life of you look like when it comes to food? What are you eating? I just want to know. I'm curious to see what people all over the world eat. So please, if you're watching this live, after the stream is over, you can comment below, or you can even comment in the live chat right now. And for those who are watching the replay, just pause it and drop a comment. Now, um, obviously, I'm not going to talk about why I quit keto, because I have done that. There will be a link to the video in the description box, or if you're watching live, there's a pinned video in the live chat as well. So you can watch it at your leisure and you'll find out why. Now, I must make it very clear that I am not a doctor, not a dietitian, not a nutritionist, not a personal trainer. I am just a guy on the internet. So, when I tell you stuff, I am giving you my experience, my opinions. I am in no way, shape, or form telling you how you should live your life. Unless you ask me and then I give you my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to find the diet that works for you. It's up to you what foods you choose to eat and not eat. And yeah, it's your call on how you want to live your life. That's not my business. So just want to make that clear. What I'm about to talk to you about are my views, my learnings, my way of living. And of course, if you like the content I make, you can support me on Patreon, or you can join my YouTube channel memberships here if you feel like. If you want to support the channel but don't want to put any money forward, that's okay. You can just watch more of my videos. Now, let's get straight into the topic of this live stream. Life after keto. What do I eat now? I've got my cup of black coffee, so let's get into it. Cheers. Okay, so here's what I'm doing now. I've decided I am done with diets. Yep. I mean, this may change, you never know. But I want to remove the word diet from my vocabulary. And I don't mean diet as in, the human diet or somebody's eating. I just mean I don't want to have a life where I'm dieting and cheating. So even the whole cheat meal is out of my vocabulary. Why something is itching me? Oh, sorry about that. Right. So I don't want to be on a diet, and I don't want to have to eat food and call it a cheat day. Yes, there will be days where I indulge, and there will be days where I don't indulge. But I will just be eating. I will be eating with the purpose to enjoy my food, to give my body the nutrition and nourishment it needs, and to help me live a long, happy, healthy life. Finding balance. That's what my goal with this is. And obviously, I work now in food. Making videos here on YouTube is my full time job. So I need to eat flexibly. I need flexibility in whatever way I choose to eat. Which is why I said there's no diet anymore, there are no restrictions. For me, no food is off the table anymore. you know like, I absolutely despise McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, Domino's, especially in India. But tomorrow, if I choose to eat one of those things, I don't want to be like, I am breaking my diet, I am cheating. No, I should be able to say that was just a terrible meal, but it makes no difference that I ate it. So flexibility is important for me. Nothing is off the table. Where I do exercise some sort of order and discipline is in moderation of the food. So I can eat ice cream, I can eat cake, I can eat burgers, pizza, hamburger, sushi, anything I want. I can eat anything. But for me, the key going forward is moderation. And this is not difficult for me because as a child, I don't know how many of you had rules while you were growing up, but my mother has instilled moderation in me, like at my very core. As a child, we were allowed chocolate, but you get those dairy milk bars with like little squares. We would be allowed 2 squares in a day. We were allowed to drink Coke and Pepsi. My mom was never like, oh, you can't ever have a Coke or a Pepsi, it's just sugar. No. She's like, cool, you can have one Coke on Saturday, once a week, no problem. Great. After school, you can have a few biscuits, 2 or 3 biscuits. You can't eat the whole packet. So for me, growing up, I used to be horrified when I saw children eating an entire dairy milk bar, like 12 of those little squares, or when I saw a kid eat an entire packet of biscuits. I would be horrified. Even at meals, we were given 2 chapatis. Like rice was, I mean, we didn't need to moderate, but we ate a reasonable amount. 2 pieces of chicken only, no more. So even eggs, like we never ate more than a 2 egg omelette. So for me, this is normal. I have been able to moderate my food. The other thing that I like to do now is I like to focus on protein as a macro. Now, that doesn't mean I go crazy, drinking protein powders and things like that. No, I'm not there yet. But when I'm eating, I try to make sure I've got a good sizable chunk of protein, whether that's fish or beef or pork or chicken. Obviously, now since I am eating everything, I try and eat leaner cuts of meat simply because they are less calorie dense, and that allows me to eat more other foods as well. So I eat chicken pretty much every day. Sometimes I eat fish, sometimes I eat prawns. Once in a while, I eat a steak because, well, the scene with beef in India, we don't get the best beef here. I can't get a ribeye at my local supermarket. So I'm limited to tenderloin and stewing beef. Pork, also, I just don't buy it that much, but when I do, I enjoy it. So I try and get a good amount of protein in my diet. I definitely make sure I eat lots of fruits and vegetables because these are nutritious foods. They are not very calorie dense and they're delicious. So for me now, the purpose of how I'm eating is largely making the decision of whether or not this food is adding value, in the sense that is this nutritious, you know like, I would eat crickets in Canada too. I don't care. I've eaten crickets in Bangkok. They taste pretty decent. But my point is, um, I like to say, okay, here I have an apple. It's nutritious. I'll eat it. Oreo cookies, not really nutritious. Do I need them? Probably not. But like I said, flexibility. If I want to eat the Oreo cookies, okay, I can eat Oreo cookies today. I know that each Oreo cookie is 50 calories. So if I'm going to eat Oreos, 2 is my limit. That's 100 calories. I'm good. And the thing is, because I've been calorie counting for over a decade now, I literally can eyeball most things. And I have a weighing scale at home, so I can measure out all my food. I don't necessarily need to log all the food, but when I'm eating lunch, I measure out how much rice I take, I measure out how much chicken I'm taking, and I measure out how many vegetables I'm eating. And that gives me a good ballpark figure of what my calorie intake will be. In general, I try and have 3 meals of about 500 calories each. That generally sets me up for a good thing. For me, also, the other thing we like to do now is me and Dipti, since we live on our own now, we, for the most part, I won't lie, it's not like we never, at least I for sure, I never or I very rarely will buy any junk food. First of all, Dipti and I are not very big on junk food, so we don't really stock up on the cookies and chocolates and things like that. We have a few things that we do eat sometimes. So Dipti likes, potato wafers or crisps. So sometimes we'll have those in the house. Now, I would rather not have them because if they're not there, I won't eat them. It's not because I'm trying to diet, but it's just because I know that it's not a nutritious food, and if it's not there, I'm not even going to consider eating it. Sometimes you're just hungry and it's there and you want to eat it. But if I do eat it, I will measure out 10 grams because I know 10 grams of potato chips is 50 calories. So if I have 20 grams of potato chips, I know that's 100 calories. So for me, this really works. Okay. The other thing I have been doing now, exercising. I like to do steady state cardio, which basically means I like going for a walk because I find that's not too intense. It's a good way to burn calories and just, good heart health, right? I also go to the gym when I can. I'll admit it, I'm not as regular as I was a couple of months ago, but I don't beat myself up about it. I go to the gym. I work out, maybe once or twice a week in the gym lifting weights just so that I can build some muscle. And I go for a walk every day about 6 kilometers. In fact, the last few days I've actually started running during my walk now. So I'm basically trying to complete the 6 kilometers in a shorter duration of time. My end goal of this will be able to basically run the entire 6 kilometers every day. That's the end goal. That might take me 6 months, it might take me a year, it might take me 2 years. That's okay. There's no rush because this is something I want to incorporate into my life. Like I want this to be a thing, walking and exercising and getting in my cardio and my, resistance training. So all that. Now, another thing I do, which I obviously will not recommend for everyone, is I weigh myself every single day. So I have a calendar where I put my weight down every day, and I have an app on my phone as well. Now what this does is, first of all, I don't get upset if my weight goes up one day or goes down. I don't get stressed about it. So for me, what I like to see is where is the weight graph going. So if the graph is going straight, I'm okay. If it's going down and I'm trying to lose weight, fantastic. If it's going up for 3 or 4 days, then I realize that, okay, this is, when I see it going up the graph, I know that, okay, I've been eating a little more than I should. I cut back a little and it gets back on track. Of course, there is a plan I have. I do want to drop some body fat now. So again, I'm not going to diet, but I'm going to do what is called a cut. So it's just basically cutting my calories a bit. Largely, everything remains the same. I will just drop my calories so that I can start dropping body fat. I will continue to walk, continue to exercise, and I might do this on Instagram, on the Instagram stories, because that's a good place to kind of, track these things. And it's mainly just for accountability, so to speak. So now let's get to the food that I actually eat. What do I actually eat? What does my breakfast, lunch, and dinner look like? So one meal in the day, which is mostly lunch, is chicken, vegetable, and rice. This is fixed. Now I make this in many different ways, and all these recipes that I make are on the YouTube channel. So I eat Hainanese chicken rice, I eat turmeric chicken rice, I eat soya sauce chicken rice, I eat diet biryani, that's what I called it, or low calorie biryani. Um, what else? What other way do I eat it? Sometimes it'll be a curry, but mostly it is some kind of boiled chicken or braised chicken with rice and vegetables. Now, when it comes to rice, I always weigh out my food like I told you. So, my rice intake is normally 100 to 120 grams of cooked white rice. That would be about half a cup, I think. I think that's half a cup for my American friends. I will make sure that I eat enough chicken that I'm getting in at least 30 grams of protein in that meal. So normally it's about 100 to 120 grams of chicken meat. And vegetables, I generally don't count because you can never eat too many vegetables. But like if I'm eating broccoli, I'll eat 75 grams of steamed broccoli, and that actually really fills me up. So that's what I like to have for lunch on most days. Dinner, it varies. Sometimes it's sandwiches, sometimes it's a burger, sometimes it's pasta, sometimes it's just a grilled piece of meat with veggies. It keeps varying. Sometimes it might be food that has been sent to me by a restaurant, because I have a second channel called Headbanger Eats, where I actually eat restaurant food and review it and stuff like that. So I definitely need like the flexibility to eat those foods. So even if I get restaurant food, that's where I exercise portion control and moderation. So for example, if I was to get a burger and fries from a restaurant, now on average a burger is 600 calories approximately. French fries would be about, I want to say, 400 calories at least. So you're looking at 1,000 calories in that meal. So what I would do is I'd cut the burger in half and I'd eat half the burger and half the fries, and that'll be about 500 calories, and that's my meal, you know. What am I eating for healthy fats? I guess olive oil, the meats. So if I eat chicken thigh or chicken leg, there are healthy fats in that. I also have butter, ghee, all the healthy fats. Avocado sometimes as well. Breakfast for me a lot of times is fruit. So especially if I've had a heavy dinner, so like I said, sometimes I get restaurants sending me food, and what happens is it's a high calorie meal. It's not necessarily going to be a low calorie, meal. So in that sense, if I've eaten a lot of calories for dinner, I'll just eat fruit for breakfast, like a bowl of watermelon or something, and I'm good. If I am eating a proper breakfast, generally one toast, maybe sausage and egg. I like to keep it simple. I don't like to complicate things. Sometimes it might be some leftover dinner, so maybe half a burger that I didn't eat the night before. So again, I try to have around 300 to 500 calories for each meal. And that's generally how I reach my daily calories. And for the most part, I am maintaining my weight, and I feel good. And of course, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is just my experience. This is how I eat. Everyone is going to figure out what works for them. I'm not here to tell you that my way is the right way and your way is the wrong way. No, I'm not here for that. If you found what works for you, I'm happy for you. I feel joy when I see that people have found, a, a way to live that's healthy and makes them feel happy and good about themselves. So yeah, if you found that, I'm happy for you. All right, so now that I think I have completed all the little points that I wanted to go over, which was a good, I don't know how long I've been live now, but I'm going to assume I've been live for about 20 minutes now. I've covered all the topics that I wanted to talk about. So now I would like to answer your questions, and for that I'm going to look at the screen because, like I told you, I'm using the front camera on my phone, so I'm going to look at your questions back there. All right. If you guys have any questions, please hit me up with your questions. And in case you are going to take some time to think of questions to ask me, let's see. I've got a whole bunch of new videos on the channel. So in case you haven't been seeing me pop up in your, YouTube homepage or whatever, check the channel. I've uploaded a bunch of killer recipes. And now what I'm doing is every Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm dropping a long format video. So that's, a normal YouTube long form video. And on Friday or Saturday, I'm dropping a short video. So YouTube shorts or the TikTok style video or the Instagram reels. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. So I make sure to give you guys a sort of good mix of recipes. And obviously, now that I'm not on keto, I don't sort of make a lot of keto stuff anymore because whenever I cook, I have to eat. So I try and make dishes that I'm actually going to eat during the week. And of course, even if it's not keto, if there's a way to make it keto, I always share that in the video and let you know how you can make it keto. Awesome. We have our first question from Ranjiv Grewal. What got you interested in cooking? I think, and this is obviously a long time ago, I started cooking when I was 12 years old. I turned 40 this year, so that's a long time. It's 28 years ago. I think it was just my love for food. I enjoyed eating good food and being a fussy kid, a control freak, if you will, and a spice wuss. I was not always happy with the food that was served to me. So I thought it best that I take matters into my own hands and cook my own meals. And actually, for as long as I can remember, I've been cooking my own food. Like in my house, I was never served breakfast. I don't know about you guys. Like when you were growing up, did you wake up and somebody made breakfast for you? Like I'm sure my mom did it while I was like a really young kid. But I can't remember most of those breakfasts. I mostly remember myself making eggs and toast for my breakfast all the time, you know. And I remember a friend of mine saying, "Oh yeah, I wake up and breakfast is served to me," and I'm like, "What? You don't make your own breakfast? That's absurd." Like in India, obviously, people have help. It's much easier to get full time domestic help here, and everyone has like maids who come and clean and cook and this and that. So most people are not even used to making their own cups of tea or coffee in the morning. It's just handed to them. Or the if it's a stay at home mom, then mom always dotes on the kids, and but my mom was a stay at home mom, but I was never like pampered. Like yeah, she made our lunch for school, sandwiches, this and that, and dinner, but I often would like make my own food even then. But yeah, I always woke up and like I need to make my own coffee or tea or whatever and my own breakfast. But I do sometimes make breakfast for Dipti also. I used to make breakfast for all the bands that would stay at my house as well. So I used to organize concerts in Bombay City, and bands used to often crash at my house. So I would make them breakfast in the morning. Hello, so you're not on keto anymore? No, I am not on keto since the last 3 years. I've put a pinned comment here in the live chat, so you can click that and watch why I quit keto. Or if you watch the replay of this video, if you're watching the replay, again the link is in the video description box just below this video. And a quick request to my friends in the live stream who have been here since earlier, if there are new people asking the same question, just let them know. All right, Brian. First of all, congratulations. I'm happy to hear that there has been an improvement in your wife's health. So that's great. and I'm very glad that the recipes have helped as well. And thank you all seriously for watching the videos, for supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate it. And I also, I've said this before, I will say it again because I want you guys to know that, you know, even if I'm not on keto, all the keto recipes are going to remain on this channel and on my website. There are over 350 recipes, if not 400. If you need to know how to make a dish keto, if I've uploaded a non keto recipe and you are on keto and you want to know how to turn it keto, if you ever leave a comment, I will always reply and help you guys out. I will never not be helpful if you want to know how to do something, you know. Uh, so, yeah, feel free, even if you want, if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, you can always leave a comment or send a DM. We'll be happy to help you make, non keto recipes keto. I think by now, though, most keto people already know how to do basic substitutions. So, for example, I did a spaghetti and meatballs recipe. I used real spaghetti. The meatballs, the sauce, everything was keto. There was nothing not keto about it. So if you were keto, all you would do is take the real spaghetti and replace it with shirataki noodles or zoodles or my meat noodles, and you were good to go. Rice. I post a lot of chicken rice recipes and I will be posting a lot more. Whenever you see me use real rice, just swap it out with cauliflower rice. You already know how to cook cauliflower rice. I've got multiple videos teaching you how to make cauliflower rice. So you're sorted. Bread. I'm going to be doing a lot of sandwich recipes because I am the sandwich king. Throwing modesty out the window. I don't know if I'm king, but I definitely do make a good sandwich, or so my wife tells me. So whenever you see me make a sandwich recipe, just swap out the bread. Like I will use white bread, ciabatta, regular bread, sourdough toast. All you need to do is swap out the bread with keto bread. And I believe these days you get a lot of good, very good keto and low carb breads in the supermarkets. I don't know which part of the world you guys live in, but do you get good keto bread where you live now? I think you get keto hamburger buns these days, you get pizza bases, you get tortillas, you get low carb wraps. I mean, literally everything is available now in the supermarket, I think. I think maybe that's also why people don't watch as many keto cooking videos anymore, because everything is available ready made, including, delivery services for keto meals, which didn't exist 5 years ago. So, yeah, at least that's what I think. Hello to everyone joining in. How are you? By the way, if you could all smash that like button on this video, I would greatly appreciate it. Saleha says, I'm so fat. I will take your word for it. How can I help? I think it's very important also for people to realize, like, especially if you're overweight, reaching your goal weight doesn't necessarily mean you are going to love your body anymore. This happened for me, and again, like I said, this is my experience. It may not be the case for you. I started keto at 76 kilos. At some point, I was 64 kilos. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I was not happier with my body at 64 kilos than I was at 76, because I looked like a smaller version of myself. And for me, that's when I realized that I needed to build muscle. I needed to work out and develop, work and build muscles on my arms, on my shoulders, drop body fat, and not just become thinner or way less. So I think it's important to kind of just also at some point love yourself a little more than you probably do. I think more than sort of putting yourself down for the way you look, work more towards giving your body better nourishment. So Saleha Sheikh has asked, how do I lose weight? So Saleha, I will give you a quick disclaimer that I'm neither a doctor, dietitian, nutritionist, nothing. I would always recommend, if you can afford the services of one, get one because they are professionals. They will give you personalized attention and they will be able to work with your lifestyle. Just a very quick overview from here. If you have weight to lose, it's very simple. There is one way to lose weight, and that is to eat in a calorie deficit. Now, this deficit can be achieved in a number of ways. For many people, they go on keto. They don't need to weigh their food or track their calories because they are coming from a terrible way of eating to a better way of eating. They are giving their body a complete shock by removing the carbs. So they drop water weight. They see the water weight go and they get highly motivated to stick to the diet. Adherence is one of the most important factors when it comes to losing weight. You can eat in a calorie deficit tomorrow, but can you eat in a calorie deficit for 6 months, for 7 months, for a year? That's where consistency comes into play. And this is where we come into the talk of, oh, you should have the willpower. If you can't stick to your diet, you're weak, you don't have the willpower, etc., etc. Truth is, willpower runs out. You cannot be motivated every single day, which is why I have a new philosophy and a new way that I looked at weight loss. Make small sustainable lifestyle changes that you can actually adhere to. Now, what does that mean? Now, I'm just going to give you a very basic idea. Suppose, Saleha, this is what you eat in a day. I don't know what you actually eat, but let me give you a picture. Let me paint you guys a picture. This is your breakfast. You wake up in the morning, you have three egg omelette. You put cheese in the omelette. You have 2 slices of bacon and you have 2 slices of toast. Okay? Now, if you cut out too many calories, you will feel hungry. But instead, say, of 2 eggs, you had instead of 3 eggs, you had 2 eggs. That's a small change. And maybe instead of 2 toasts, you had 1 toast. Small changes. Let's say for lunch you have 4 chapatis, you have a chicken curry, 2 pieces of chicken, and you eat some vegetables. Now instead of 4 chapatis, eat 3 chapatis. Okay? Small change. You're not going crazy. You're 1 chapati less. Now in the evening, normally you snack on some junk that's lying in your house. I don't know, but you don't keep track of that. You have no idea how much you eat in the evenings. And then for dinner, you let's say you eat again chicken curry and rice, for example. Another small thing, instead of eating all that junk in the evening, you buy more fruits, you buy some vegetables, and you eat maybe more fruits and vegetables in the evening. I know they're not as tasty as those snacks, but maybe you can eat those snacks only on Saturday and Sunday. Now you don't do any exercise. Maybe you can start walking inside your house for 30 minutes a day. Maybe just when you're on the phone talking to somebody, instead of sitting on the sofa or on the bed, you start walking around your house. These are small changes. These are not big drastic things that you are going to have to motivate yourself to do. What? Did I? Yeah, they got finished like years ago. Sorry, my wife wanted to check if I finished the Oreo cookies. Oh, your cheese sticks are there. And your Ruffles chips are there.
No, I need something sweet.
Sweet, that paste is there. The hazelnut paste. Right. So make these small changes in your lifestyle. Yeah. Simple things, and look at losing the weight slowly. So you mentioned, by the way, you're 80 kilos and you're 5 feet 5 inches. I am 5 feet 5 inches also, FYI. Now you're 80 kilos. You need to lose, let's assume you want to lose 20 kilos. Now most people are trying to lose 20 kilos in 2 months. Unrealistic. It's not going to happen. And if you do it, you will make such a drastic change that you will not adhere to it. So set a realistic goal for yourself. You got 20 kilos to lose, take 2 years to lose it. Your goal should be to lose 1 kilo a month. Make it easy. 1 kilo a month is a very achievable goal. And once these small things that you do start to become a part of your lifestyle and you get accustomed to it, you can make more changes. You know, that two toasts in the morning will become one toast. Maybe the bacon will be replaced by a chicken sausage. Maybe the egg will be replaced. The omelette will be omelette with cheese will be replaced with boiled eggs. Maybe your 4 chapatis will become 2 chapatis in the afternoon. But basically, that is what you have to do. You have to eat in a calorie deficit to lose weight. Now, I know a lot of people who do keto have now suddenly become these carb phobes. It's like carbs are evil, carbs are killing you, carbs are there. Ah. You know, for me, diet should never be a cult. It should never be this reactive. You know, it's no different than somebody going, "Oh my god, you're eating so much fat, you're going to die." It's no different than a vegan saying, "You're eating meat, you're going to die." It's no different than a carnivore saying, "You're eating plants, you're going to die." To me, the world has gone bonkers. Again, I live and let live. So if somebody wants to do crazy stuff, that's their problem. But I mean, I understood veganism because it was an ethical thing. I don't want to hurt animals. I will sacrifice whatever else for that. Very noble intention. Then, of course, it went haywire. Fruitarians. Have you ever seen a fruitarian? Then, of course, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So, you had vegans on one side, now you had carnivores. Now you've got, vegans who are only raw vegans. Now you've got raw carnivores. To me, they're all crazy. But if that's how they want to live their life, who am I to tell them anything? I mean, there are people going around shouting, "Plants are killing you. You eat plants, and plants are sending neurotoxins your way, and you feel sick when you eat plants." Like, bro, you're losing the plot. All that meat is affecting the. But you know what? If it works for them, who am I to say anything? I'm never going to go to them and say, "Hey, stop what you're doing." As long as you're not hurting another human being, I don't care. It's not my problem. What you do in the confines of your own home as a mature adult, I don't care. I mean, it's crazy, right? You got these vegans taking, I don't know what all they do. They're going and creating disruptions at shops, and then you've got the carnivores going and disrupting the vegans protests, and it's like, just what is wrong with you people? I think maybe in the future, many centuries from now, when all of humanity has evolved to stop believing in invisible gods and religion has finally expired from like human society, then maybe the next religion or the next cults will be the diets. There'll be the temple of ketosis, there'll be the shrine for the low carbers, there'll be the vegan vegan pedestals, there will be a carnivore caves or something, and they will all go to their respective diet temples to worship Church of Carnivore. Or it's going to be hilarious. Also, Saleha, and for anyone else who really wants to understand how to eat in a calorie deficit and make these small sustainable lifestyle changes, there is a series on my channel that I did last year called My Unimpressive Weight Loss Transformation. You can watch that series. Also, for all my Indian friends who want to eat Indian food but are worried about carbs suddenly, there is a series I did called Can You Lose Weight Eating Indian Food? Check that out. You can. Alright, do we have any more questions? I don't eat too much, but I have thyroid, so what can I do? Okay, so very important, more important than anything that I have said is if you have a medical condition, please go to a professional, doctor, dietitian, nutritionist, personal trainer, because they are licensed, they will take actual responsibility for your health, and they will be able to correctly diagnose you because it is an in person thing. People on the internet, very nice to make content, but nobody on the internet is taking liability for you and your health. So if you have thyroid, my advice is go to the doctor. Even the doctors on the internet, from the Dr. Ken Berry to the Dr. Eric Berg to the whoever else, there are some 5 million doctors now on YouTube. All of them have a disclaimer below saying this is all just advice for entertainment. It's not medical advice. Go to your doctor. Like, they don't take advice from any of this stuff. Hello, Jacob from Israel. I'm glad you enjoy your steak and eggs every day. In fact, I was thinking of doing a steak and egg breakfast in my cutting phase. The funniest thing when people say dogma when they're talking about keto, LOL, is as if facts are dogmatic. LOL, gluconeogenesis produces as needed glucose. Simply human, unfortunately, it's not so black and white. It's the keto community gets dogmatic. It's not a fact or not a fact. There are enough facts, enough studies that are proven with every single diet has facts to back it up, right? So I would just say eat your diet. If you believe keto is the diet for you, eat the keto diet. You know, every religion thinks their God is the correct God and they can prove it. But that doesn't mean you go around like, I mean, they do that, but that's not very nice. So, I mean, you can be one of those people. And of course, can I talk to you about the keto police? In every keto group, I left every single keto group within 6 months when I was in my most keto phase. It was just toxic. Everyone thinks they know how to make keto, like everyone thought they knew how to do keto and everybody else is an idiot, and everybody had a study or some statement to prove it. The fact is, science is not like, oh, you can't just make a comment, and it's like there are studies, uh, there are nuances to the studies as well, there is context to the studies, so it is a little more, you know, elaborate than just saying, oh, this is fact. And like, it's not like a fact that this is water, hey, you can see the water, so it is water. Unless you, I mean, and of course, since I can taste it, I can tell you for the fact it's water. And if you took this water to the lab, you would get the elements of water. That is a little more, you know. But the context of what this water can do. If I said this water can make you lose weight, it can, and it, I mean, you know, context. Awesome. I'm glad to hear all the good things that are happening. By the way, thank you to everyone who has joined me for this live stream. Do smash that like button on this video. It helps the YouTube algorithm. So, what else can we talk about? Also, I must say this. Again, if you are in good health, I'm not talking about for people who are morbidly obese, who have health problems, have autoimmune diseases, but some of us, we also like to eat for pleasure. You know, humans do a lot of things for pleasure. Not all of it is, for lack of better word, natural. I mean, we fly planes, that's not natural. But I want to enjoy good food. For me, food is art. There is incredible food being created by chefs world over, which is also why, to be very honest, I'm moving away from the whole diet and keto space as well, is because my real passion is food. Even the keto recipes and the keto videos came because it was the food that excited me. You know, my first video was a bulletproof coffee, followed by uh, cauliflower pizza, followed by zucchini noodles. I didn't make my first keto sort of explanation video till way later. And that was only because people constantly left comments asking the same questions, and there was only so many times that I could answer them in the comments. So I said, okay, you know, people are asking me what is keto, can I drink alcohol on keto, what about hair fall on keto, what about gluconeogenesis, blah blah blah, what foods can I eat. So I was like, okay, let me just make these videos so that I can just direct people to the videos. So for me, food has been the reason I create anything on this channel. And I, like I mentioned, I don't like the dogmatic, the aggressiveness of the dieting world. Not just keto. I definitely, it's not only keto, it's every diet. High carb, low carb, vegan, carnivore. Anytime diet and fitness comes on in the YouTube space, it's just everyone's like just, I'm sure if you, do you guys follow any fitness influencers? Let me know if you follow any fitness influencers. I just think it gets too crabby. Like when it's food, like I don't see chefs fighting on YouTube unless it's a Gordon Ramsay kitchen nightmare episode. But like if you're watching Binging with Babish, if you're watching Food Wishes, if you're watching Laura in the Kitchen, if you're watching Max the Meat Guy, Guga Foods, Di Giovanni, it's it's so nice. It's just, it's food, it's beautiful, it's creating art, it's tasting deliciousness. And that's the part of this that I actually like, is like making a good recipe that you can enjoy. And for me, even in the food space, yeah, some of these guys do really crazy stuff, and that's not my cup of tea. Like, I don't want to make a tower of burgers and pour cheese sauce over it. And no, I'd like to make food that you can eat on a regular basis. Food that's not going to, you know, like drive you to obesity. But at the same time, I don't want to like, oh, you know, you can't eat real rice, you can't eat bread, you can't eat pasta, you can't, you can eat whatever the hell you want, man. I eat sugar, and I don't think there's anything wrong with sugar. It's the dosage of sugar that's the problem. It's the way sugar is used in processed foods, in high fat and high carb treats and things like that. It's portion sizes. America, I've seen the American portion sizes, they are ridiculous, as are the British portion sizes. I went to a Weatherspoons once. I ordered a haggis burger and fries. Do you know what the calorie count for that was? 1900 calories. No human being needs 1900 calories in a sitting. I remember ordering a fish and chips, 1300 calories. I was like, that's ridiculous. So for me, it's also like, again, people want to sell food. Now that, there's nothing wrong with selling food. It's the fact that everyone's trying to stand out, make viral food. So when you're putting, like, you know, burgers that are this tall and all, like, nope, I understand that sugar is just a food. For me, it's all food. It is the dosage of food. Let me tell you, if you got a box of sugar and you just ate plain sugar, how much do you think you could eat? I guarantee you within 5 spoons you would be putting the sugar down. Now if I gave you a donut, you could eat 5 donuts. That's a different story. So it's not don't it's the same way people try to demonize fats. Like fats were not bad. Nothing was wrong with fats. It's what else you're eating with the fat. Same way carbs are not bad. It's what else you're eating with the carbs. What are the kind of carbs you're eating? You think, like there are people I know who have lived till 90 eating sugar. It's not the sugar, buddy. You can believe it's the sugar and choose to not eat sugar. I'm not here to tell you that you should eat sugar. In fact, I think most people should definitely not eat sugar because a lot of people don't have control. A lot of people, have a lot of different. So, Darlene, I'm glad you asked about turkey. So, guys, I am getting a turkey, but this year I'm getting it free because I'm going to be partnering with a local company in India that is importing turkey, and I'm doing a couple of recipes for them. So I will definitely be doing some turkey recipes, and I'm going to try and make them really interesting because when I actually went to Istanbul in Turkey, I actually ate turkey there and it was delicious. So I'm going to try and sort of recreate a similar recipe. So yeah, tell that to the diabetic. I'm obviously not talking about diabetics, my friend. I'm talking about a normal, relatively healthy human being. The diabetic was not born diabetic, most of them. People who have got type 2 diabetes who have developed it over years. Yeah, it's because of that dosage of sugar. It's not because they're just like if you're born with diabetes, that's very different. Like, see, these are like pulling at straws to make your argument heard. It's not your, it doesn't hold water. That's like saying, oh, tell a guy with peanut allergy that eat peanuts. Obviously, if you're allergic to peanuts, why the hell would you eat peanuts? My brother is allergic to shrimp. Does that mean everybody in the world should think shrimp is poison? No. I can eat shrimp, but my brother will die if he eats it. It is up to the individual. So if you are diabetic, obviously do not eat any sugar. But if you are a relatively healthy human being and if you want to have a little bit of sugar from time to time, nothing's going to happen to you. Obviously, the dosage matters. If you're going to eat 5 donuts a day or one donut every day, that's very different from eating one donut once a week or one donut in a month. Just an example, you know, it is about moderation and control. Again, if you're eating purely to exist, please, by all means, do not touch sugar. You don't need it in your life. But some of us want to have a life filled with joy. And we get joy out of food. We love tasting good food. Sometimes we like a sugary dessert. And I'm never going to feel bad for eating it. And nobody's going to make me feel bad as well. And if somebody wants to eat it, I'm going to tell them, you know what? You do you, buddy, or budess, or whatever. Thank you so much, Priska. I do love turkey, but I definitely feel there's a lot we can do with it. I'll give you a heads up. One of the dishes I'm going to make with the turkey, and I have to do this, is going to be Monica from Friends turkey sandwich with the moist maker in the middle. I have to do that. But what my plan is, I'm going to break down the turkey like I did last time because I don't think the entire turkey will fit in my small oven. So I'm going to cook the breast separately and I'm going to cook the leg separately. And I'm going to use all the bones and the giblets for stock and make a beautiful turkey stock which I will then turn into gravy. Buddy. Or bit. Folks. Folks is neutral. Whew, maybe I should tie up my hair now. I think I've been online for a good amount of time. By the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them my way. All right. I'm ready for the Q&A. How many days does the body take to go into ketosis? Honestly, that varies from person to person and it depends what you actually eat. The fastest way to get into ketosis is to fast for 24 hours. Don't eat anything. But my question to you is, what's the hurry to get into ketosis? Is there a prize for getting into ketosis quickly? This is something I always ask people. Your body, like, you're not going to lose weight faster, or like there's no magic if you get into ketosis today or tomorrow. Like, it's not a big deal. You may take 20 hours, you may take 30 hours, you may take 48 hours. It's not, there's no prize for coming first. Weight loss at the end of the day occurs when you are in a calorie deficit. And frankly, you can be out of ketosis and lose the weight, as I have shown many, many times in the last 5 years on my vlogs and things like that. So don't stress too much about being in or out of ketosis, unless of course you have a medical condition where it's a do or die situation and you need to be in ketosis. That's, again, when I make general statements, I'm generally referring to people who don't have medical illnesses. Do you ever use, how do you pronounce that, jicama in keto recipes? So I don't think you get that in India, which is why I've never used it. Okay, I did keto before, but now I'm on a low carb which is much more doable. Yes, absolutely. Low carb, because you're not worried about being in or out of ketosis. All right, Ranjiv's question. What is the difference between calorie deficit and ketosis? Okay, so ketosis is basically a metabolic state that your body goes into where it burns ketones for energy. Otherwise, your body uses glucose for fuel. A calorie deficit is basically eating fewer calories than your maintenance to lose weight. So every human being has a BMR, which is their amount of calories they need to just stay alive. And then over and above that, there are a few things that add up. So the general, again, this is very general, most people need about 2000 calories in a day to stay at the same body weight. Again, there are calculators which will help you figure out what you actually need. It will depend on your height, age, weight, etc. So let's say you need 2000 calories. If you eat 1500 calories, you are in a 500 calorie deficit. Now, where the confusion comes for keto people is, a lot of people do keto and they don't actually track the calories. But because they are changing their lifestyle from one of many calories to something that is different, they end up eating in a calorie deficit and therefore lose weight. That is not to say that they are not in a calorie deficit. You cannot lose weight without being in a calorie deficit. Whether you're vegan, carnivore, keto, any single diet, if you are in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. Which is why people stop losing weight on keto. Which is why people stall. This happens when, say for example, like I explained to you, you need 2000 calories in a day to maintain your weight. You start doing keto, because you're eating high fat and high protein, you cannot eat as much food as you used to with carbs. So therefore you are eating in a calorie deficit, say 1500 calories. Now you do this for a few months. Every day you are in a 500 calorie deficit and your body's weight starts to drop. Now your body is smart. Your body realizes that shit, we are starving. Because what is weight loss? It's starvation. Effectively, whether it's ketosis or not, it's starvation. Your body realizes this guy or girl or whatever is losing weight. We are starving. I need to now do something because we are losing too much weight. I need to conserve the body from death. So your body will start to drop its required calories. So we drop your metabolic rate. So now your BMR is matching the 1500 calories and you're not losing any more weight. Now this is why most people on keto get confused. They are like, I'm eating the same food, but why am I not losing weight? Well, see, now you have to start tracking your calories and you'll have to drop that 1500 calories to 1300 or 1200. Or the other way you fix this, so if you don't want to drop your BMR down further, you have to then start exercising more so that your body then creates a deficit because you're expending more energy. So if you're starting to now do exercise, you add calories required, so you're creating a deficit there. That's the other way. Are this simply human person is really like twisting the words. Your body will use the body fat, but it understands that you are not getting the calories, so it is having to use the fat. Therefore, for the body, the moment you're going through your fat stores, it's starvation. I hope that clears it up. Do you listen to Bloodywood? Yes, I listen to Bloodywood. They are awesome. I went and saw them when they played in Mumbai a few months ago. They're good friends of mine. They're lovely guys and they are absolutely awesome. So, love them and I'm so happy for them. Cool, cool. No worries, man. How long have I been on now? Ooh, it's been an hour at least. Cool, so I don't want to make this live stream too long and boring. If you have any final questions, I would love to answer them and then I will call it a night. Even though I've just drunk a cup of coffee at midnight. Well, I finished the coffee just before midnight, but obviously means that I may be up for a bit, but I guess I'll read a book or something as I should. By the way, are any of you like readers? Do you read any books? I'm reading Dune currently. I've been on that book for a year now. I've been reading it very slowly. I read some other books in between, but yeah. Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate it. Where are you from? I am from Mumbai city in India. Where are you from? What's the difference between being in nutritional ketosis and being fat adapted? So, being fat adapted, as far as I understand, is when your body has gotten used to using fat as a source of fuel, which generally happens after some time. So your body, when you've never done keto before, your body is in a complete state of shock that suddenly its primary source of fuel, glucose, which you've been feeding it, has vanished. So obviously it starts to burn fat, but it's a bit rusty. At least that's from what I've understood. And after a period of a couple of weeks, it gets fat adapted. So it is more efficiently burning fat for fuel. I will tell you about nutritional ketosis as soon as I Google it because I actually don't remember now. Nutrish. See, this was never a thing till everybody started getting those blood meters. Okay, so nutritional ketosis can be defined as the intentional restriction of dietary carbohydrate intake to accelerate the production of. So basically, anybody doing the keto diet is in nutritional ketosis. So this is simply by changing your diet to the keto diet, you are in nutritional ketosis. I guess this is when you're not taking exogenous ketones and things like that. Yes, Simply Human has pretty much summed it up there. My favorite book. I think Lord of the Rings would be my favorite book. I need to read it again though. Oh, I hate Jordan B. Peterson. The guy's a real ass. No offense to any of his fans, but I just hate that guy. I can't stand his face. I don't like him at all. Complete tool in my books. What language do you speak? English? English. By the way, Ranjiv, did you like Lord of the Rings on Amazon? I loved it. I'm a huge fan of the series. Oh, what languages do I speak? Oh, I actually just speak English properly. My Hindi is passable, and I speak some broken Gujarati, but it's really bad. Like, it's more of like when I'm trying to be funny, I'll speak broken Gujarati to amuse people who are Gujarati. But yeah, that's only because I was in a Gujarati sort of school for 10 years. So lots of kids in that school were Gujarati. So I mean, they taught in English, but it was the what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, the people who owned the school were Gujarati, so they had like a Gujarati quota, and there were a lot of Guju kids. Oh, by the way, folks, I don't know how many of you know this, but I have a second YouTube channel, and it's called Headbanger Eats, where I do lots of fun food stuff. If you are not triggered by food, I would definitely say check it out. I'm doing a fun show called Burger Wars, where I try and find the best beef burger in Bombay. Alright, guys, so where are you from? I am from Mumbai, India. Where are you from? Let me know. Or if you see my chair vibrating, that's because I'm drumming. I played like air drums. Lovely people from all over the world. Hey, Florida, where lots of the death metal comes from. Yeah. New York City, one of the most expensive cities, and I have never been there. But now, every time I watch a food video from New York City, I'm just shocked at the prices. $17 for Hainanese chicken rice, $25 for a cat's pastrami sandwich. I mean, I'm definitely going there if I come to New York, but wow, that's expensive. Malaysia, hey, cool. I need to visit Malaysia as well for the food. Alright, folks, I think we've had a long and successful live stream. I really appreciate all of you being here. If you haven't smashed that like button, I would love if you could smash it. Also, don't forget, when the live stream ends, I would love for you to leave a comment in the comment section telling me what you eat in a day. Like, what's your normal meal? Like, what's your day look like? I really want to know what people are eating. Like, what do you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a normal day in your life? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to go now, but it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you all. I will see you all. Well, today is Saturday, so probably Tuesday or Wednesday with a brand new recipe video. Don't forget to check out the older videos. There are lots of new recipes, and I will see you on the next episode of Headbangers Kitchen. Until then, cheers and keep cooking. Thank you all. Bye bye.